states. And this is, I think, is influenced by the IDP situation, whereby many families have come to. Can I help you 1 minute? Please, there is a lot of noise. And we want silence. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you very much, Ahmed. If we were saying, if you are an investor in Somalia, you need to know these key indicators. And as we go along, if you can see, the literacy rate is almost 56%. So a lot of Somali people can read and write. And another factor which is very important is the unemployment rate of 19%. So there's a lot of labor market to be released. Next. And Somalia, is Somalia investable or not? We think Somalia is very investable and it's ready for investment and it's open for business, and these are the indicators. The GDP here looks very, very low, but this is opportunities. We want Somalia to become a middle income in 2030, and there's only 6 to 7 years. Go back. You want to? Can you go take back? So you want to take pictures? So can you go back? Next. Thank you. Next. This data, by the way, is collected from various sources, government sources, Somali Bureau of Statistics, FAO, Government of Somalia, Minister of Agriculture. This is the agriculture data collected from different sources. Now, the GDP 7.7, good, and is growing to 3.7, and the good indication here is 70% of that, 7.678 million, is generated by crop and livestock alone. So it's a very, when we say it's a key and the backbone of the economy, this speaks by itself. 7.6 billion from crop and livestock. And another indication, if you're an investor, you need to look, is the corner inflation rate. Somalia inflation rate is much, much better from our neighbors, 4.8. Normally it's 5 to 10. Our neighbors, the inflation rate in Somalia, relatively low. And here, if you look, how many 66% of the population, or 70 different data being cited, are employed in the agricultural production. And then this is the subdivision, this is the breakdown. 75% smallholders, less than 5 hectares, and there is also large-scale farming in Somalia at quota of the farmers. And here, if you're an investor, you need to look this. Is the labor cheap or expensive? Here, unskilled labor, if you want someone to weed your farm, machineries, the salary ranges from 100 to 300. And if you want a graduate from university, it's 300 to 600. So the labor is very cheap, is very conducive environment. If you come with few millions in Somalia, it can go a long way. Next. And this now, we're going down from Somalia into the productive sector, and we call Somalia a productive Somalia. And this is the main area where we think is fresh and ready for investment. Crop, with a little bit of data, there's a lot of space. Sesame is already doing well. We want banana, lime, legumes, vegetables to do well as well. We want date farming to get started. So that's the crop. Livestock is already 57 million. A bit of data for livestock, if you want to invest in there. 5 million exported 2023. 80% of our foreign currency is from livestock. Fisheries, a lot of opportunities. And this is the productive sector. You can see Somalia's fisheries has not been exploited. For the local catch, 0.5, Somalia is 3.6. So you can see there is a lot of opportunity for fish export. And now, next one. This will come later, this comment. Now we zoom into agriculture. If you see this slide, a lot of information, a lot of information. This is the first section of the slide. Somalia, you can produce anywhere in Somalia. This is the message. This one is not very clear, but Somalia is member of COMESA, IGAD, East African Community, OIC, Organization of Islamic, and we have some special preferential trade agreement with Turkey, with China, some Arab states, and hopefully to European Union. So this is the market. This is where you can grow everywhere. Here is very interesting if you are an investor. If you look, this side is the import, and that side is the export. If you see almost 2.5 billion food is being imported in Somalia, this is an opportunity. It should be music into your ears if you are an entrepreneur, if you want to invest in agriculture, because there's a lot of gap in food production. On the other side, although the export is increasing, but it's only 7 million at 2022, so you can export a lot, and we have shown you where this can be concentrated: lemon, sesame, livestock. So this is a good opportunity, good data, and now we said old and new markets. The old market are European markets we want to reopen. And the new markets are like Turkey, the Arab states are demanding our products a lot. Next. Now we've looked at our situation. This is the slide you should look at. If you want to invest in agriculture in Somalia, this is what we have selected, the 7 major area to select. I call them top 7. And the top 7 is number 1 is the stable crops. This is maize, rice, sorghum. There is a lot of demand locally. If you grow these crops, you can get your money and your profits locally. You don't even need to export it. There is a lot of gap, a lot of demand locally. Now the oil crop, the only major oil crop we have is sesame. If someone invests in sesame, it will reap a lot of benefit. But also other crops like sunflower, vegetable oils. Is my voice clear? And then the third area is the high value crops. This is where banana sits. This is where lime sits. This is where mango sits. The high value crops that are in good demand. Now another area that we think if you invest, we have 57 million animals, more than 57 million. And all these animals need to eat. So the fodder crop is an area in demand if you want to invest. Another area is the machineries and fertilizers and pesticides. Huge gap in Somalia for this area and ready to be invested. Now, the 6th one is the new technologies. Here, all digital agriculture goes there. Tissue culture with banana goes there. So this is the 6th. The 7th one is anything to do with value addition, storage, processing, light industries, sitting here. So if you come, any idea to value add products is a huge market and huge gap in Somalia. So this is we call top 7. And next 2 days, we're going to dissect and get it into detailed value chain analysis and assessment. Next. So now I select to you the area. Now I have even zoomed in more what crops are ready to be invested. These are the crops: maize, sorghum, rice. In the cereals, these are the 3. Rice is very slow production, but it's consumed in Somalia a lot. So these 3 cereals are ready to be invested. The second 3 is banana, sesame, citrus. This is what we call high value crops, ready to be invested, a lot of export earning and a lot of hard currency. Then legumes, there's a good demand locally, but these 3 can be exported in the middle. Next. Now, Somalia has a lot of benefits, but some challenges. And what we want to discuss in the panel discussion is how we can address these challenges. If you see, some of these challenges are opportunities actually. So for example, land under cultivation is very low. So now there's a blend of land uncultivated in Somalia. For you as an investor, this is an opportunity. And it's not that it's a challenge to us, but for the investor, it's an opportunity. Now, another one is huge irrigation infrastructure. This is underway. Maybe next year and year after, Somalia will have huge potential for irrigated agriculture along the rivers, because there's huge projects going on, like Chosob, in Johar. So there's a lot of infrastructure, canals been repaired, drainage has been corrected. So although it's a challenge now, within a year or two, Somalia will have a huge land available for irrigated agriculture. Now, another one is dollarized economy. The shilling is almost, nobody uses the shilling. Everybody uses dollar. For the investor, if you invest in Somalia, the money you get is not shilling, it's a dollar. So although it's a challenge to economists and to Somalis, for the investor, this is actually a good thing for them. Now, another challenge is climate change, but can be adapted. Another one is we need resources for large-scale projects. So if you see these challenges, the security is another challenge. Fertilizer, which we now working on it, is another challenge. So this is challenge, and we want our panel to discuss more how we could actually face these challenges. And for the investor, some of these challenges, for example, we don't have in Somalia a lot of money for agriculture. If you are an investor, this is opportunity for you. Land under cultivation, very low, it's a challenge to us, but opportunity for you. Next. Now, this is the final slide. If you come here as an investor, what does the Somali government, we've told you what the country can offer. What can the government offer to you as an investor? This is what Somalia has, is the general characteristics, very strategic locations. You've seen the president, our prime minister, the president, our minister, already emphasizing these aspects of Somalia. Economy is expanding, very progressive, private sector is very strong, BT with many countries, sector is underinvested. So if you're an investor, it's an opportunity for you. What does the government has to offer? This is what Somalia has to offer. The government is offering you this. It's giving you promotion, investment promotion zones, private-oriented economy. If you come with your company, we are familiar with people working for themselves and making money from their business. There is a framework for national partnership between the government and the private. This has already been built. Large-scale commercial farming, we have that experience, and it can work in Somalia. 100% company ownership. If you bring your company here, you don't need a Somali person co-owning you. Yeah, you're on your own. Your company is yours, the profit's yours. We will not, maybe you will pay minimum registration or what have you, but if you come here Somalia and invest it, the money you make is yours. And there's no regulation of how much you can bring, how much you can take. It's very relaxed. Tax advantage if you are an investor, and then we guarantee that money belongs to you. There's no point in time this will be public. They said, oh, this is now public. No, it doesn't work like that. The private money stays private, the public money stays public. And finally, if you have any problem and you're an investor, the resolution mechanism, we adopted the international arbitration. So if you have any problem anywhere in the system, we allow an international arbitration, and Somalia is open for business. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Dr. Mohammed. We're going to move to the next presentation by Luca Bayara of European Union. He's a program manager for Somalia, has been working in Somalia quite a while, and I'm sure he will be telling us a lot of good things about his view on the topic. Welcome, Luca.
Thanks a lot. Thanks, Dr. Hussein. If we can put up the presentation. Okay. I think this presentation indeed comes quite at a good time, especially after the presentation of Dr. Abdiweli. And I just want to take you quickly through the support that the EU has been providing in the productive sector, in the agricultural sector in particular. So maybe we can move with the next two slides. Yeah, so Two quick points indeed. So one, a quick overview of the EU intervention supporting agri-value chain, and the second one, maybe just to have some quick reference to some of the key achievements. And I think it linked well with what Dr. Abdiweli was saying. I mean, it has been, especially at the beginning, it has to be a joint work. We work hand in hand together to basically lay the foundation to help the private sector to come in and layer up the next kind of actions that can bring the productive sector to the next level. Next slide. So, I mean, very quickly, the EU has been one of the major donors in the productive sector for the past 15 years. We come, of course, with a regional vision as well that is translated in the country. We have our, regional approach, like Nature Africa, that is feeding into the EU Green Deal, the Great Green Wall, and our overall strategy on supporting the productive sector, which is the EU Farm to Fork. We adopt an integrated approach as well, basically combining direct support to value chain, but as well enhancing business environment and invest to climate. Next slide. So this is a quick snapshot of our ongoing contribution for the productive sector. We have three major programs ongoing, one supporting each of the productive sectors. On the fishery, we have the RACE project, supporting the fishery value chain, starting from improving production and productivity, access to market, and support the institutional capacity building. The Somali River and Agriculture Program, which I think is quite consistent with the presentation before. I mean, the EU is putting quite a lot of effort and attention in rehabilitating the irrigation system, especially along the two major rivers, the Shabelle and the Juba River, and it's probably our effort that we sector, again with the RACE project supporting different livestock value chain, the fodder production, and so on. So the total amount that we have of our contribution as we speak now is 46.7 million. Next slide. So maybe very quickly through some of the key results that we have been achieving over the past 15 years or so. So maybe going through by sector. So on the agriculture sector, which is supporting mainly farming and crop, I think we have done quite a lot of substantial work together with the ministry, of course, in establishing value chain association, in particular working on 4 value chain, maize, sesame, banana, and sorghum. We have put a lot of effort as well on the productive infrastructure as well as in market infrastructure. And there you can see we have what I was mentioning in terms of rehabilitation of canal. By 2023, we rehabilitated over 300 kilometers of canals, and we have as a goal by 2025 to rehabilitate at least the same length, so other 300 kilometers along the 2 rivers. And then, of course, supporting along the value chain number of agriculture market, 2 of the main, one in Kismayo and one in Marca, as well as, developing the market information system to provide now the farmers and all the intermediary with information, which is a key element. Next slide. Again, few more areas of work that we have been doing. We have been working on increasing the access to quality inputs, also with our implementing partner, thanks to FAO and other implementing partners. Support working on the regulatory and inspection services, agro dealers, as well as improve the production, or organizing the farmer, providing with trainings on good agriculture practices, and this has basically brought us to have an increase of yields that you can see here, on at least in few value chain, maize, copies. So that those are results that they came in, and we realized that by rehabilitating and bring back water to the farmers, the production quickly increased. Next slide. On the livestock sector, again, few main key actions and achievements. So one, as part of the support to the institutional capacity building, we built a new ministry office here in Mogadishu, but also rehabilitating or building the new office in the federal member states. We developed the livestock market data information system, and then work on at policy level to create, to draft the livestock feed policy and the livestock export strategy. We also put a lot of emphasis on the capacity building. We launched 3 years ago now a scholarship program for over 100 Somali students on animal health and veterinary services, as well as at community level, working on community health workers and for the producers. Next. Again, and this is actually a good point for the next panel discussion. One of the priorities has been infrastructures. So again, on market infrastructure and productive infrastructure, we built 3 new markets last year. One of these in Mogadishu, and the productive infrastructure, again, number of fodder storage, which are key, especially for the livestock corridor that are going to be exported. And then again, provision of equipment with tractors that helps land preparation and fodder processing machines. Next slide. On the fishery, similarly, we have been working quite a lot on improving production and productivities, through provision of quality inputs and gears, fishing vessels, organizing the cooperatives, and then narrow down in access to domestic and international markets, working on hygiene practices and phytosanitary standards, piloting the fish kiosk in Mogadishu to bring more fish close to the consumer, and we launched a number of fish campaigns throughout the years. And on the capacity building, again, we constructed the new Ministry of Fishery office in Puntland that we actually are going to hand over on Thursday, and then the same number of scholarship for young students at the City University Mogadishu. Next slide. Again, I just want to emphasize with this slide one of the key priority in the fishery sectors, which is the cold chain. So again, working with the ministry and with the development partners, we have been trying to tackle some of the major problems that are, to create a functioning cold chain from the sea to the market. So we have been keeping the fishermen with fridge, with ice, keeping the fish landing station with the cold storages and ice flake machines, refrigerated trucks to bring the fish to the markets, and keep also the market with storage. Next slide. So that's it. It was a quick overview.
Thank you very much, Lucia. That's very informative presentation. I'm told that the company, event company, has kindly made an arrangement for us to be entertained for about 5 minutes. So, entertainers, the floor is yours, please. I think by way of encouragement, maybe big applause would be good.
حماري وينك حدقتي أفريقيا حولكي قرنية ودانتا عصوب أو بقر كدانتا ذا كشرفيو عاصمة حورتيو يا الحمر إريال لحنك يعودكم وإسلا أباها دانتا ذا أحمد إسماعيل بدو ميوزيك محمد ياري فرسمدي عبد الغهاري الكعصي اسكو دبريدكي عبد الفتاح قرن
aygu soo xaadiro xeebta liidayga xamaraad leegu yeedhe alayba urgaada laygu soo xaadiro xeebta liidayga xamaraad leegu yeedhe حجاب كحر حشوتا حرمية يقمودان حق نور مرقبة دجوك حجاب كحر حشوتا حرمية يقمودان حق نور حدقتي أفريقيا حلقي قرنيقا عيال حمري عيال حمري حرير قلبي حرم باتاي حدقتي أفريقيا حلقي قرنيقا عيال حمري عيال حمري حرير قلبي حرم باتاي حراقاضي الكسنيمي يا كورح بعض حنبار سنطاي ارتحامار كودارة هاي حراقاضي الكسنيمي يا كورح بعض حنبار سنطاي كارون سوماليد وحراتاي حمري إلهيك حفظه كارون سوماليد وحراتاي حمري إلهيك حفظه حدقتي أفريقيا حلقي قرنيقا عيال حمري عيال حمري حرير قلبي حرم باتاي حدقتي أفريقيا حلقي قرنيقا عيال حمري عيال حمري حرير قلبي حرم باتاي حدقتي أفريقيا حلقي قرنيقا عيال حمري عيال حمري حرير قلبي حرم باتاي
We're going to continue the entertainment, and this is the last session of it. I don't know exactly what song it would be, but I anticipate that there will be a nice song. Bear with me, please.
waxaad ku leedahay dhulkaaga hooyo haybad waxaad ku leedahay dhulkaaga hooyo wana lama huraane agarli wax ugu qabo wana lama huraane agarli wax ugu qabo hantiyay macaan waa midaan hoy laga
Wonderful. That was a much needed entertainment session. I think we have a lot of energy now to get through the rest of the day and the agenda. We have a signing ceremony between two companies officiated by the Minister of Agriculture and the Somalia Bureau of Standards. I would like to call the two companies to the podium, please. Firstly, Galoge Company, and Case IH from Italy. Join me, please, to the podium. I would like to also call to the podium Director General of the Ministry of Agriculture, Professor Mohammed, and the Service Director of Quality Infrastructure. I think we could say congratulations. These two companies have signed a supply agreement which involves supply of agricultural input, and it is a testimony to the opportunities that exist. My Congratulations again. I would like to invite you to this side of the podium so you could have a picture with the minister as well. Good. Going back to our program, we now have a panel discussion on. Okay.
Do we have the attention of everybody? I can see a lot of noise from behind. For those who are seated, can we say Somalia? Can we say Somalia? Somalia. Somalia. Then we say silent. We say silence behind, because those people at behind are talking and we can't hear. Please, let's keep the silence. Let's observe the silence. We can move forward in the front seats. Then we have the panel discussion. Over to you, Mahmoud.
Thank you so much, Ahmed. Much needed support there. So the panel will be moderated by Luca Pagliaro of the European Union. Luca, please join me in the podium and take a seat. The panel is on discussions focusing on critical infrastructure, both physical and quality infrastructure. And it includes both activities that relate to hard infrastructure like irrigation systems, transport systems, but also it covers quality infrastructure aspects of quality control and regulatory and legal frameworks that support agricultural value development. It will also touch on role of government in creating and maintaining enabling business environment to promote investment, and including actually activities related to business registration, licensing processes, taxation, and for agricultural input and export. I will call the panelists. First, Faisal Ali is a senior advisor of the Ministry of Livestock, Forestry and Range. Paolo Paron, Senior Land and Water Advisor, Iswalim FAO. Abdi Dirsha, Director General of Ministry of Fisheries and Blue Economy, and Abdelkadir Abdesalam Abdennour, Director of National Quality Institute of Somali Bureau of Standards. Panelists, please take a seat. I'll hand over the microphone to Luca, who is moderating this panel. Luca, over to you.
Thanks a lot, Dr. Hussein, and welcome to the panelists and welcome to this panel discussion. So I will like to jump quite straight into this discussion. So I will just quick move to the presentation of our distinguished panelists. Just go through a quick presentation of their wide experience and expertise. So I'm very honored to have Mr. Faisal Ali, who is the Senior Advisor to the Ministry of Livestock, Forestry and Range. He holds a master's degree in Energy Policy and Climate at the Johns Hopkins University, and he has a wide expertise which include business development, public-private partnership, renewable energy, among others. Our next panelist is Dr. Paolo Paron. who is the senior water and land advisor for FAO Somalia. He has been also lecturer at the Department of Water Resources and Ecosystem at the IHE Delft, Institute for Water and Education, for the past 13 years, where he is now an affiliated researcher. Dr. Paulo Parona has been working on Somalia since 2005, carrying extensive experience and expertise in water resource management. And then I'm delighted to give a warm welcome to DG Abdi Dirishe, who is currently the Director General for the Ministry of Fisheries and Blue Economy. He has over a decade of experience in government, holding key government positions such as Permanent Secretary of the Ministry of Planning, Investment, Economic Development, Permanent Secretary of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation, Principal Security Advisor to the Prime Minister, Senior Security Advisor to the Ministry of Defense, among others. And as last but not least, I'm very glad to also have Mr. Abdikadir Abdisalam, who is the Director of the National Quality Institute of the Somali Bureau of Standards. He holds also a master's degree in Business Administration and Management, former individual contractor and assistant administrator in the United Nations African Union Mission in Darfur. So welcome all. So I won't take so much time, just some housekeeping. So I will keep the time of your intervention. We'll try to keep this a bit brief, so I will be 6 minutes for the opening reflection, and then we go into questions. So, I mean, as you know, the topic of discussion is critical infrastructure in the productive sectors. I just want to maybe quickly have a quick inputs for you to also keep in mind during your intervention. I mean, the EU indeed has been, as I was mentioning before, has worked quite a lot on critical infrastructure. It's certainly one of the main needs that comes across all the productive sectors, but one of the issues that often we come across is also sustainability. So I would like you also, you know, while you give you the opportunity to have an initial reflection on these, I mean, touch upon maybe on your thoughts on sustainability. Often, I mean, in the respective sector, you know, we have support a number of critical productive and market infrastructure, but when it comes to sustainability, might become a bit, you know, a question mark. So, with no further ado, I would like to invite Mr. Faisal to initiate, you know, with your initial reflection on the topic of our discussion. Over to you.
Thank you, Paolo. Thank you very much. And also like to thank the Ministry of Agriculture and the AU supported this wonderful event. And I think this is the much needed discussion that country is about to have. Thank you for the opportunity. As listening to today's discussions and all the presentations that's put it here before us, we've seen the opportunity that hold the agriculture, Somali production sector in general. So I specifically now focus more into the livestock sector, which is where currently I support the ministers in a variety of development. If you just look at the livestock sector, we look at the representation of the GDP. We're looking at 45 to 50% to country's national GDP, and also it carries almost 80% agricultural GDP, and close to 80% foreign earned income, excluding the remittance from Somalis in diaspora. So it's a huge sector already that is driving. I think is investing in any livestock value sources. It's investing in Somali way of life. If you look at the economy dependency, our employment dependency, and our the growth and production sector. One of the things that was highlighted, our country's young population. You're looking at the 70% under 35. There's a huge potential that can enhance and develop an entire production sector. In livestock sector, currently there's a lot of activities in the last few years that's been done that include also developing the first country's national traceability system. Somalia never had before animal traceability system. This is one of the enabling environment that's government doing to have a sustainable livestock production system. and also veterinary control policy that was also put in place to make sure that all overuse of the drugs or unregulated drugs coming into the country, reverse that's going into our livestock sector. So these are all the enabling environment. The critical infrastructures that has been developed in the last few years, if you look at the 5 major livestock market in Borame, Barawa, Hargeisa, Qardo, Darussalam, and Mogadishu. These markets have been comprehensively equipped with the essential facilities, fenced watering system, quarantine certification asset, and capacity development for use to. This all to enhance the livestock production and to facilitate trade value. The other critical infrastructure that is put in is a modern veterinary lab that has been established, Borama, Mogadishu, Qardo. This laboratory is outfitted state-of-the-art equipment, enabling advanced diagnostics diseases. So these are all the demand that required Somali livestock to grow more and develop more. So when we look at the value added, one of the natural resources we have is almost 3 times more population than livestock. So we have almost close to 60 million livestock. And the value chain is not structured. If the opportunities that you see in the value chain, like if you look at the milk value chain, meat value chain, we talk about this value chain, but one of the most critical important that we have to look into to seed an investment, to also have a sustainable growth product is feed and fodder investment. I mean, if you have a good feed, quality feed, well-fed animal, that subsequently will brings into the huge milk production, a good meat to the market, and sustainable production system. And I think we call upon all the investors to look at this. You're not investing, it's already proven investment, high return on investment. It has the greater potential for employment. It also has a great opportunity to country to alleviate the poverty. If you look at when we talk about the gender and youth employment, if you look at the livestock sector, the milk value chain, for example, 90 to 95% of women-driven milk, women-driven businesses. So these are the sectors that are required not only investment, it's also required required skills to innovate. The cool chain system. You look at milk, the yogurt, the cheese. These are all the untapped territory. So it's possible there's a huge potential on this sector to look into. We're not even looking at the skin and hey, if you go to that side of the the value chain, it is enormous. So I will encourage investors to look into it. The livestock, it's a food security, it's the economic well-being, it's also employment market. So every sector in our economy, it represents highest number. So you're looking at a place where you can quickly get a partners. And this traditional Somali livestock sector has been driven for thousands of years, driven by private sector. The government facilitate, enable the policies, make sure that investors are coming in, getting good return on investment. And also, we also want to see our pastoralist community investors not left behind, because lack of feed, the climate change is real. Natural grazing, it's been something that has existed so long. So investing in a value chain, specifically starting from feed and fodder and moving up, I think that is where the opportunity lies. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Faisal. So we move on. Similar question, an initial reflection from Dr. Paolo on critical infrastructure, probably more on the water management point of view. So, yeah, over to you.
Yeah, thanks. Well, I would like to start highlighting the presence of FAO in the country as well. I remember the first time I visited the Ministry of Agriculture, the Director General showed us the office where FAO used to sit in the ministry. And in fact, it is at least up to 1969 when FAO conducted a study on the potential control and management of the waters of the Shabelle River. And this is highlighting the importance, the critical importance of water infrastructure in the agricultural sector. And then if you jump up 10 years, in 1979, 1980, there was the construction of the Sabun barrage, and the supply canal that comes from the barrage to the reservoir is called the FAO canal. It was highly supported by FAO. So water management is central to to agricultural production especially, but not only. Of course, the country relies heavily on groundwater, especially along the livestock corridors, the trade routes. And for this, one of the key elements of the present challenge is that climate change is changing the way the rainfall is happening. We cannot change that, but we can change the way we harvest that water, we store it, and we use it for productive purposes. So we are trying to revive that in the Johor area through the JOS program, which is rehabilitating existing infrastructure, which had three different purposes: flood protection, drought protection, and irrigation augmentation or potential. And we think that with this erratic rainfall, which is now becoming the norm, we should increase the number of rainwater harvesting across the country, especially in the big rangelands areas of the country. So I see there a lot of projects which are doing this, but there is a huge potential for upscaling this kind of intervention and supporting the local economy at different scales. I think these are the key elements for the water infrastructure for now.
Thank you very much, Dr. Paolo. And then I will invite DG Dirisce to also give us his thoughts on the fishery sector. What comes when it's critical infrastructure? What comes as a priority?
Thank you very much, Luca, and thank you, Ministry of Agriculture, as well as the EU that supported this major event. Also, I want to thank all the participants who came from different countries to participate Somalia's potential investment here in Somalia. In the fisheries, in fact, fisheries provides the most potential, both in terms of investment, revenue, employment, as well as food security. The fishery sector has a great potential for investors, and there are already major players in the fisheries. Right now, a number of countries are already participating in the fishery sector to invest, mostly from China and also from the local communities here in Somalia. Somalis are the major really investors across the country. Why fisheries is more important in terms of the three areas that I have highlighted include that Somalia has the longest coast in Africa. In terms of geographic location, as our president has said this morning, Somalia is a gateway to a number of countries, including the Gulf, the Middle East countries, Africa, and there are a number of landlocked countries in Africa that require our marine resources. In terms of production, potential production here in Somalia, in the fisheries, you're talking about just in the tuna, you're talking about over 600,000 metric tons of fish. That's the potential. In terms of major investment for potential investors, you can think about what you could do in terms of processing facilities and other value-added sort of potential, such as fish oil factories or processing facilities, but also fish meal. These are areas that if you really invest in those areas and located here in Somalia, the potential is massive, having access to major Gulf states, Africa, and Asia. So we have a great potential. In terms of infrastructure, there are a number of strategic locations across Somalia. If you look at the map of Somalia, if you look from one corner to the other corner, there are potential areas where investors can really locate their companies along the coast. And these are great locations because they offer access to other countries in terms of Africa, Arab states, as well as Asian markets. Recently, a number of studies came out on food security. And if you look at the region right now, Somalia has the greatest potential for a number of countries in the Middle East as well as in the Gulf, providing potential food security for their countries if they invest in the maritime resources here in Somalia. So we welcome all of our investors, and there are great opportunities here in Somalia, and we will welcome. Also, lastly, a number of the speakers earlier spoke about today about the Somalia foreign investment law, which is very progressive law that provides protection for our investors. That is a key indicator for a country. If you're looking for opportunities, you look at those instruments. And Somalia has one of the best instruments in Africa, really.
Thanks a lot, DG Dirish, very insightful indeed. And now let me invite Mr. Abdul Kadir to give us also his thoughts about infrastructure. Of course, when we talk now about the Somali Bureau of Standards, we can talk, physical infrastructure, but we're also looking at quality standards. So we'll be glad to hear from you a bit on that.
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Good afternoon, and all protocol has been observed. Actually, when you talk about the quality infrastructure, is a huge sector. We cannot summarize in one session, but I'll try my best to at least highlight the main points. Generally in Africa, we have the biggest problem is we focus about food security, and we forget about the food safety. For us, we think that food safety comes the first, because when you secure for the food safety, it means it will lead you for the food security. The little thing is that you have it, that when it is safe, it means you can get a market for it, and it can be acceptable for the general public. Somalia was facing the challenges to accept the output, if it is fishery or agriculture or livestock, to be accepted worldwide. The worldwide has agreed in a certain point that there is standards to be followed when it comes the production of any, if it is livestock or fishery. So as a Somali Bureau of Standards, we try to at least develop and adapt the standards. For example, that we have fresh fruits and vegetables standards, which at least it helped Somali and agriculture sector to follow in this structure. Again, there is a challenge of harmonization of standards generally in Africa, because as you know that Africa is trying to at least trade one to another. That is to find a free trade area, and Somalia recently adopted national quality policy. It means that all the sectors we are going to have in one policy, which is this is a national quality infrastructure. And as I said, that the country to accept your product, that there is certain procedures should be in mind. For example, that as we say that human being to travel from one country to another country needs a passport, also the product needs a certification. So this certification has to be accepted in, like, for example, EU market or Gulf. I remember last year when we attended Arab Codex in Oman, one of the biggest challenges that our livestock was facing was certification. And I hope that Minister of Livestock, Mr. Faisal, is with us, will help this sector, because this is a huge sector, as Mr. also Dish said that about the fishery. So for us as Somali Bureau of Standards, we work together with all production sectors and we develop the standards they needed. And again, we also open to anything related to quality control. Africa is now going to the next level of trading one to another. This is to find the free trade area. So as we join the East African community, there is a lot to be done. As a Somali Bureau standard also existing for 3 years only, but we did a lot to find a way to solve this, our products to reach to the international market. Once again, this initiative, it's a progressive initiative, it's very constructive, and as Mr. President said, Dr. Hassan Sheikh Mohamud, Somalia has a potential of investment. We welcome the foreign investors to at least invest in Somalia. Somalia has all the infrastructure in place. It's just a matter of time that just to come and invest it. And thank you so much, and we will see you the next one.
Thank you so much to all the panelists for this initial round of thoughts and reflection. But I would like maybe now, taking a bit of the inputs that you mentioned in this initial introduction, deep a bit more, into the discussion. Maybe I have a couple of questions for each of you and gather again some more deep thoughts. So maybe I would like to start from Mr. Faisal and ask you two questions. The first one is, according to you, based on your experience and expertise, what are the key investments in trade opportunities within the livestock value chains? So this is the first one. And the second one is how best those opportunities can be tapped through, for example, partnership with international company with us that are with us today. So what are the the opportunities that you see for partnership with on the private sector?
Thank you again. That's a very important question, but I'm going to answer the question that the quality of standard asked earlier about the certification. I think the ministry recently developed a unified health and export certification. This is across Somalia. It's only issued one place, so this totally eliminates falsification of export certification and all that stuff. That initiative has almost concluded and is already for the last Hajj and the other coming. We use one uniform certification system, so that has been definitely was one of the things that are hindering our development sector. If you look at the value chain in a livestock, I think it is a lot, but specifically for the value chain that require more, not only investments, also the skill, the market, the accessibility, is a milk value chain. It's a very it's important because our milk, we're not using the other value chain, the milk. No cheese processing, it's not yogurt. Milk doesn't have enough long shelf life after 6 p.m. When the birth comes. So there's a lot of cool chain challenge. I think that's an opportunity to invest. And also you're looking at the secondary processing. And also like some mechanizations. I think one of the things that are important is to mechanize it, to commercialize it, to a proper investment that not only answers what the current market is, but also project the future market. And then we go back to the feed and fodder sector. Drought of 21-22, Somalia lost close to 3-point-something million livestock. And that is, if you translate that, is close to billions of dollars. So how the climate change is real. The challenges of the climate exist. So investing mechanizations, fodder system, and animal feed, I think these are the best investment now I can see. Also respond to all other value chain. If you were looking at the huge milk production, if you look at the quality meat, if you look at the quality live animal to export it, and I think the opportunity lies now at the feed and fodder, and then secondly follows by the meat value chain and milk value chain. I think this is the critical important. To go back to quickly, just want to say when you get it into the critical infrastructure, for this year, coming years, that we are planning to construction of 18 fodder banks across Somalia and 10 livestock market, 13 animal health posts. These all supported through our live animal protection. 42 earth dams. This also is under development. Construction of regional vet labs in Kismayo and Baidoa is in process. Construction meat market in Baidoa. 18 mobile veterinary vehicles, South Central and Somaliland. So this all is supporting trade corridor. It's also supported the export points. And with this also we enhancing the capacity development. We thank the FAO. A few months ago we now put hundreds of students in a vet in the universities to get trained and learn about it, how to process it in the next chapter on this. So the livestock sector you're not just investing in a commodity, you invest in a Somalia way of life. This is how we live by, this is how we generate. 60% our employment linked to the livestock value chain. 80% our nutrition comes from livestock source food. So it is huge potential in the domestically, not only globally. So the international visitors, I would really encourage to look into what, this is an investment area where people are considered their asset. You invest in not only your capital, you also invest in the way of life, you invest in the infrastructure, you invest in a real partner. So this is a great discussion, to have a good partnership and an investment that goes beyond years to come. But we're also open as a government. All we do is we enable the environment, so our private sector to thrive. The investors come in. The investment landscape is a huge opportunity. The fishery sectors, you've heard about it, the untapped resources. The quality standard is now in the process. We work in multiple issues to develop a Somali product to achieve this global standard. I think with this, last year alone, we exported close to 7 million live animal. That translates into almost 2 billion. So you see it, you're not reinventing the wheel. You just coming in, discuss with it, those who been in the sector, we can link you up. The other challenge in the livestock export market that also a value chain is spending is the transportation. I think that's another challenge, how the goods moves from Somali shores goes to the end user market. And that's also another huge opportunity that's to be explored, and what kind of vessels to be used, and are they inhabited something. But we will welcome, and we hope that you'll take something away from this convention, and we will hope to follow you through our livestock cooperative to see what the achievement has been had, and we look forward more partnership with it. But thank you. Yeah.
Thanks a lot, Mr. Faisal. I'd like now to, give attention to what Paolo was saying. So maybe a couple of questions as well on Paolo more on the water management, part of it. So the first question is, what are the crops with the highest potential to improve yield through irrigation in terms of export and value addition? And the second question is, what role private investment may play in filling the existing gaps in public and international program financing of irrigation infrastructure?
Yeah, thanks, Luca. I think the booklet that was distributed today contains a lot of useful information also to answer your question. So let me go back to some figures and numbers. If you consider the Shabelle floodplain alone, and before 1991, there were about 200,000 hectares cultivated under irrigation. Now already there are more than double that in terms of surface. However, the yield and the loss during harvest is incredible. The yield is very low compared to international standards, and the loss of harvest is also quite high. There is a table in this booklet that highlights these figures. And if you look at that table, the only two crops which has close to 90% harvest compared to the planted areas are rice and vegetables, which are highly supplied with water resources. Most of the other maize and the others which are listed in the table, they reach 60, 70, at maximum 80%. And one big win, easy win factor is to improve the management of the waters in the field. There are many studies. The evidence says that if you keep all the other inputs equal, so soil nutrients, fertilizer, pesticides, if you only increase by 25% the irrigation of water, you can have 4 times increase in the yield. So I see there a huge opportunity. And coming to your question specifically, the crops which we should bet more on for export especially are sesame, as been highlighted before during the day, banana, the dry lemons, and even if it is not irrigated, also frankincense. It has a lot of added value. And we have seen a lot of vendors here presenting the products that they already commercialize. So I think this is a huge area of expansion, improving water management. And I would also say that the potential for investment is also linked to something that many people say, if you don't measure it, you cannot manage it. So we need to have a better understanding of monitoring the water resources that go into the field, going to feeding the crops with water. So I see that as an area of expansion for companies which are providing instruments, equipment, and systems and capacity to measure better what we have at our availability. So, as I said, the challenges of the present low yield can be also becoming an opportunity if we do better water management in the fields. And so the key areas of investment for me are the traditional one, if you want, so the ones that everybody speaks about, so improving seed quality, supporting the productive infrastructure with rehabilitation of infrastructure for irrigation, but also in the rain-fed area with these water harvesting structures, and these have a high return on investment, by the way. But also, again, improving the way that we provide information to the farmers, which means improving weather forecast, which can tell the farmers when and what to crop according if it is forecasted a drought year or a flood year, a wet or a dry year, and where the rain is coming. And of course, we can invest also, and we should invest in strengthening the capacity both at federal and member states level. I think, yes, these are, the high potential crops are, as I said, sesame, banana, dry lemon, and frankincense, but I would not stop there because as we have seen, the import amount is staggering, and the need for staple food also creates a big business opportunity, I think, within the country. Thanks.
Thanks so much, Dr. Paron. Then let me turn my attention to the GD Riche. A couple of questions as well for you to deep dive a bit on your initial reflection. So according to you, what are the key priorities for the government and for the Ministry of Fisheries in promoting investment in the fishery sector? And the second question is, what role do you think partnership with international companies can play in increasing export while supporting sustainable management of marine ecosystem?
These are really great, two really very good questions. Recently, the Ministry of Fisheries and Blue Economy has organized what we call a Fishery Week, the National Fishery Week of Somalia, last May. This Fishery Week has produced a number of really very good engagements with the private sector. Our Prime Minister, who attended that meeting, or that conference, big conference, the Fishery Week conference, has announced that 50% of the government's budget should come from the fisheries and blue economy. We take that to heart, and one of the key priorities is to make sure to encourage investment at the industrial level in the fisheries. But also we cannot neglect our artisanal fishing. Somalis are not fish-consuming society. So one of the main objectives of the Fishery Week was to make sure that we can reach out to our populations and to our people to make sure that, fish as a nutritional food is very good for our children, for our society and our people. A promotion of fish as food is critical in Somalia. As you know, we had a number of droughts that take place, because of climate change. And fish and consuming fish can be really crucial for food security. So that is something, a huge priority for us to make sure that we focus on food security. The other one, which is crucial for employment, generation of employment is crucial, and this sector really provides huge, really potential. In terms of investors and investment, we are providing incentives to investors. And I have 3 areas to highlight for investors here in Somalia in the fishery sector. One of the things that we are offering is cost-effective land for purchase for the long term. We are providing any investor for the opportunity to have a land here in Somalia which is cost-effective, and we will make sure that they have that land in the long term. The second thing that we're offering them is also a long-term licensing, what we call licensing rights. Rather than just getting 1-year license, we're providing, if an investor is very serious in the fishery, we're providing them a long-term fishing rights. The other thing that we are also focusing is to provide some tax breaks, competitive fees, as well as levies, depending on the types of investment. We are offering all of these things to potential investors. Also, we are also looking for joint ventures for our private sector to get involved with other private sector in other countries and other companies to make sure the government will encourage those kinds of joint ventures. We are reaching out to all of our investors, and we are really will encourage them to come in and talk to us.
Thank you very much, DG, for this insight in the fishery sector. So let me now direct a couple of questions also for Mr. Abdikadir. So the first question, and based again on your initial reflection, will be, forward-looking or looking forward, what are the key priorities for SOBS to promote standards for quality of agriculture inputs and products, including crop, livestock, and fishery products? And the second question is, what do you think partnership between local producers and international company can facilitate improved export certification, bearing in mind that potential impact of such partnership on local skills and technological innovations?
Bismillah. Thank you so much. And actually, let me just highlight it, the points, because of the benefit of time. The key priorities, as I said, there is a proverb in Somali language, we say that, warhela talahelo. The more you have a data in that country, the more the decision making is make it easy for the country. So our key priority area is to have a research on quality infrastructure. As I said earlier, we have a problem. Our product is reaching to the world market. We don't know exactly what is the problem. As we know that generally, some people complain about the quality infrastructure existing in Somalia, physical infrastructure existing in Somalia, but exactly we need qualitative and quantitative research, which is based on scientifically, which can be reliable. After we make the research, Somali Bureau of Standards needs to develop standards. These standards must be, can be developed from Somalia or can be of the food. As the DG also said that this gene needs to be protected, to be looked out. So through this standard, if we follow it, the world will trust our products and can be accepted into the world market. The third thing is to enhance the testing and the certification system in the quality control. We need more sophisticated laboratories for these production sectors. This is a huge investment, and it needs also, to be invested. So far, Somali Bureau of Standards, they managed to have laboratories at the Mogadishu board, which is not enough to be tested or to be certified for this product going outside the country or coming into the country. The second thing is the building capacity for the farmers or the fishers and the livestock also. Because as I said that people do not understand what is this standards mean for the production of these sectors. Because this sector, you remember that we were at war for 30 years. The quality infrastructure in Somalia has been actually left out. So it means that to make it people to raise or to enhance their capacity, it needs also to be looked out. The fourth one is the promotion of sustainable, implementing traceability system, as my brother Faisal talked about. If the ministers or the production sectors, if they succeed to have a reliable traceability system, because remember that when a certain product, for example, a fish, reaches to the, let us say that EU market, so if there is a problem happening into that product, there must be findings of the traceability of the up to the catching of the fish. It means that the whole process has to be clear and recorded and followed in standard ways. Again, that we have collaboration with international partners to adapt the technology. As we say that generally in Africa, we have a technological advancing. So Somalia particularly, they need to adapt the new technology. As the DG also is here, the benefit, when the fish catching, of course, the 30 years ago, the way they used to catch the fish is different today, the way they catch the fish. As well as the livestock and also agriculture, because we have modernized the technology recently for the agriculture. Like if it comes the irrigation, if it comes the harvesting, we have a combining harvesting and so on. The second question is, how can we benefit for this partnership? Of course, we will have access to international standards and experts. This will be exchanging between the Somali Bureau of Standards, the government of Somalia, and also the other partners, which is the investors, to exchange the standards they are using in their countries and in their industry to apply in this country. The secondly is the skill development and knowledge transfer. Of course, the companies that exist in Italy, for example, can transfer knowledge easily to Somalia, and also Somalia, also companies can transfer the knowledge easily. The last thing is enhancing quality assurance system in our economy. We should have a very strong quality assurance system so that this product will not have any question of any doubt about the quality or the safety. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much to all the panelists. So I would like to, usually now we will open for questions, but we are running out of time. So I would like to offer my apologies first to the panelists and then to the audience. We will have to skip the Q&A, as well the summary. Usually I would have bring up this together, but really because of time, I have to close the session. I have the housekeeper that is already looking at me. So I would like just to really give a warm thank you to all the panelists. I invite the audience to give a round of applause for all our panelists. And again, thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Luca, and the panelists. We move into the next item of the agenda, and hopefully we will be brief in that. It's a set of presentations by different companies who came here. Some of them I have already booths, others might just come to do presentations and showcase top products. So the session really is about giving companies opportunity to showcase their products and services. May I call to the podium to join me, please, Igor Skarcha, an industrial development expert of UNIDO. Igor, floor is yours.
Thank you. So good afternoon. I will just do an introduction about UNIDO here in Somalia. My name is Igor Skarsa, I'm Somalia representative, and welcome also for this panel. This panel, as was mentioned, is introducing the companies, few companies that are going to be attending, are here present today. First of all, about the UNIDO work. UNIDO work in Somalia is particularly focused around SME development. The development has the potential to transform economy by fostering peace, stability, and growth. Peace is cultivated also by ensuring economic gains are equitably distributed among communities, reducing tension that might otherwise lead to conflict. Stability is achieved through robust institutions capable of managing wealth and withstand the shocks. Finally, the stability fosters confidence needed to stimulate investment. It's through that we can generate growth and achieve growth. But something important to be said, that SMEs are central in all of this process. The SMEs absorb that kind of entrepreneurial risk that is essential to work in an environment like in Somalia. And Somalia has, in a way, achieved also this process and has demonstrated this also all along also the civil war in the years following to that. It's something that withstand all the challenges and the shocks, internal and external shock that the country might endure. At the end of the day, there were the private sector initiative. And yes, today we are a little bit also to celebrate the private sector initiative, and this panel is also giving the floor to private sector that in Somalia or outside Somalia, that is expressing interest in Somalia, is here today with us. So please, I would like to welcome Hamed Besharti from Boreal Light for a presentation.
Do I have a clicker? Yeah. Do I have a clicker for the presentation? Oops. Okay. So, good evening to you. Since morning, we spent good time of learning different things of investment opportunities in the agricultural sector. I would appreciate if the media team, they can put the presentation. This makes it a bit difficult for me because I wanted to go quick in some slides. Shall we wait, or I can? Okay, so I would say one by one, then the slides can go. So the work we are doing is on solar water desalination system, and the actual work is not just for drinking. It covers drinking, irrigation, fish farm, and sanitation water. Next slide, please. So we started our work focusing on this canister on the bucket, where the cost of raw water, not treated, not necessarily safe for drinking, in a market like Kenya goes for $10 for 1,000 liters for such a raw water. Means something like 30 shilling per bottle. So you can imagine this one in drought season goes up to $60. In Berlin, for Berlin tap water, I'm paying something like €3 for Berlin tap water, and then such people for such quality water, they are paying $60 in the drought season. Next one, please. Now we are on the farming summit here. So look at this picture. The part that was irrigated, you see the accumulation of salt here. The part that is not irrigated, you see vegetations. This is salt intrusion into boreholes. That is happening all around the world. Africa, part of it. Latin America, we see it, and in Europe, Italy, South Italy, Greece, Malta, all of them salt intrusion into boreholes. They are practicing it, and many farmers are leaving their farming practice because of this salt intrusion into boreholes, which is one of the first impact of climate change. You can really see it by your eyes. Next one, please. So we came up with our solution with a machine, solar water desalination system, but with 3 characteristics. Next one. Running direct drive solar, so no grid, no diesel, no battery, nothing. Just direct drive solar. It's solar panels, machine, nothing in between, and producing water. and then being simple. We didn't want to bring a sophisticated solution to the market. Having it simple, and the result of this too is affordability. So, in another term, affordable, simple solar water desalination system. Next slide, please. On the affordability, when water is directly from Mogadishu beach, so from your coast, means direct seawater, the production cost of 1,000 liters of water from direct sea to this quality, from direct sea to this quality, for 1,000 liter of it, it wouldn't be anything more than 50 cents. Nothing more than 50 cents for 1,000 liter. Next slide. And on the maintenance side, 80% of the maintenance of such a machine doesn't need anything more than a wrench and a screwdriver. A wrench, a screwdriver, you are done with 80% of the maintenance. I'm saying this, and one of my machines is just few kilometers from your place, Banadari Hospital. Now for the dialysis system, which needs specific pure water, are running on these machines. And I visited them yesterday. Perfectly, they are doing all the maintenance operation all on themselves. No need that I send somebody from Germany. On the simplicity, there is also one important thing. There are 46 sensors on the machine that we are reading them from Germany. Means if the machine is installed in a farm in Somalia, it doesn't mean that the farmer is left alone with the machine. We, by remote controlling and remote monitoring from Berlin, we can modify the machine operation and being able to see what is happening and helping the farmers on their operation. Next one, please. This is the layout of the work, so we get water from whatever source. It can be creeks, lakes, river, boreholes, deep boreholes. Doing the first round of solid particles treatment, then desalination, delivering drinking water to farmers. At the end of the day, farmers should drink water. Farmers need water not just for irrigation. So delivering drinking water quality from the same machine. I'm not speaking about two machines. From the other side, delivering irrigation water, and then fish farm water and saline water farming are from the brine of the machine, and delivering sanitation water. So one solution for all the water purposes of any farmers, especially in remote area where the access to electricity is a challenge. Next one, please. This is a setup, so it comes in even containerized machines. This machine, for instance, for a big farm can be applicable 50,000 liters per hour in one container 40 feet. If needed later, there is any problem, they can move the container just in half an hour to another place. Next one. This is the way that the machine looks like, so there is enough space for any farmer, any technicians to deal with, to do the setups, to do the maintenance and everything. Just I wanted you to have a picture of how does the machine in general looks like. This, you may see an antenna here, and this is a screen. This antenna sending us all the signals that the farmers, people would see on that screen to a remote monitoring center. Next one, please. Yeah, this is, you can also pass this. Next. Yeah, so on the affordability, when it comes to drinking water of the farmers, these 20-liter bottles of hygiene drinking water, the price, the selling price goes as low as 10 cents for 20 liter of hygiene drinking water. This is when you sell water to farmers. Next one. On the simplicity, I love this picture. I have it in all my presentations. This is at the tip of Zanzibar. Tip of Zanzibar is in a school with 3,000 students. These three young teenagers are the students of the same school, and they are the one running the machine, maintaining the machine, operating the machine, managing the machine. Imagine if the machine was not simple, never such three young teenagers without any technical education could operate and maintain the machine. And as you see here, the antennas are there, the remote monitoring is there, and we can do everything we need on the machine by the remote monitoring. Next one, please. This one is Qatar's biggest farm. In the entire Qatar, this is the biggest one, 21 hectare of greenhouse. 21 hectare of greenhouse. You see the solar panels here? Exactly beneath the solar panels is our machine and delivering water to the farm by drip irrigation to entire farm. So this is another aspect of using desalination system for precise farming, for accurate farming in such a modern farm. Next one, please. Next one. This is inside of the greenhouse. So when all these crops in 21 hectare are receiving this water. Next one. Next one. Yeah. This is the biggest farm we ever delivered water. It's 400 hectare farm in Gaborone, Botswana. This is municipal wastewater of Gaborone city. So you can imagine what a nasty water is this one. And it was not allowed to do irrigation with this wastewater. This is our machine in a container, and this is the 70 kilowatt solar panels, and we get water from this point, from this municipal waste. The farm is all from this side is 400 hectare farm. By drip irrigation, the entire farm is receiving the irrigation facility they need. Right here, no electricity needed to be supplied or no other source of water. Next one. And one thing important, any desalination system has a wastewater. Any desalination system, which is the concentration of all the minerals there. Instead of dumping it, we are a sustainable company, we are delivering something in a sustainable world. Instead of dumping that wastewater, since we are not using chemicals, we are growing fish. This is, for instance, this is actually at the border with Somalia. It's in Kenya, border with Somalia. So this is a 200 cubic meter fish tank. The entire water you see here is received from the wastewater of the machine that otherwise should be dumped. And then this fish, they have fresh fish all across the year. Perfectly, they are using this fish that is grown. We are having it in the wastewater of the machine. And last, when we are working with such communities, farming communities, rural communities, village communities, we cannot ignore training. This is our training center in Nairobi, where we are doing the training of agronomy, hydraulic, mechanic, everything needed to run such machines in such communities to the local farmers. This was one of the latest trainings we had in Nairobi. You can check, you can go to the next slide. So, yeah, they go into the depth of the training of water and farming. When it comes to technical, how to manage it, where different crops needs fertilizers. It goes to the depth of it, and this is our social arm. We do this free of charge. We do not charge these farmers receiving this training. We do it every quarter. They come candidate and they go through the courses. So technology is not just a technology. We should have a social arm of it. We should have training of it. And this is the way we are making it possible all across the world. This service now is in 24 countries, and we would love to continue it in Somalia. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. If there's an additional question for Boreal, right? We take one question, and then we move to the next presentation.
Thank you very much for your presentation. It's a great machine. What is the cost involved? You have not highlighted how much this machine is. What about the cost?
Let's see which one works. Probably. The cost is very much a factor of what quality of raw water you have. So first, we always ask for water analysis. Second, we ask for depth of borehole. How deep is a borehole? We have a project near your border in Somalia, Marsabit in Kenya. The depth of borehole is 375 meter. We have borehole with 8 meter. For sure, the cost varies and the volume. So the volume also varies. But I'm not speaking about 2,000 euro, 5,000 euro. I can say that the cheapest machine, which is 2,000 liter per hour, the price tag usually starts with 70,000 euro, which goes for the entire package. Then it goes to even we have machines in millions of euros. So it's like we have one machine, 10 million euro. But that one can cover a city, a big city.
Thank you for Boreal Light, and then it's like available for additional also bilateral meeting. We invite the guests to visit the stand at the back. That all our companies that are here are present. So the next speaker is Rafael Kimono from Galoga. Joined by Valerio from Case New Holland.
Thank you very much. You can have a separate mic. So good afternoon. My name is Rafael from Galoge.
Good afternoon. My name is Valerio Domenici from Case IH. I'm the marketing manager and sales representative for Africa Middle East.
Yes, so let's wait for the presentation. As we wait, okay, the presentation is already here. So Galoge is a local company. It's a Somalia company. We are direct importers of Case IH tractors from Italy. The company was established 5 years ago in 2019 by a group of farmers who are actually very frustrated by the prospect of not having a tractor that is reliable, affordable, simple to maintain, and one that you can easily find spare parts. So luckily, we met Case IH, and that's where we got to hold the partnership with them and start importing the equipment. So eventually the company has evolved into different sectors of training, seed production, consultancy, and animal husbandry. And thanks to that, in the year 2023, the company was recognized as the best agribusiness company in Somalia. That is during the Somali Business Awards. And in 2024, it was also recognized as the market leader of Case IH in Italia, Rome. Yeah. Next slide, please. Yeah, Varelio.
Okay, coming from the legacy of the Fiat tractor, what it used to be a leading company here in Somalia, it has evolved into what is now known as CNH Industrial, so Case New Holland. Here, together with Galoge, we are representing, importing, and distributing the brand Case IH, which for this specific market, we are commercializing tractors all the way from 45 horsepower and up above. These are the most selling models, even though our range goes all the way to 715 horsepower. Needless to say, this is just a portion of the product range that we are offering because, of course, combine harvester, sugarcane harvester, and any kind of specialized harvester machine is in our range. Maybe still a little bit premature for the economy of Somalia, but everything is really available in our range.
Next slide, please. So, why invest in Galoge? So Galoge has a total understanding of the local economy, the local Somali environment. We also work with different organizations, financial institutions like Zerat Bank. So we make it possible for us to make investments and investments move in and out of the country. We have also, through the support of especially UNIDO Somalia and Case IH, been passing down the technology and the knowledge to the younger generation. So through that, we have successfully trained 100 students so far, 60 students in the last year and 40 students in this year, equipping them with agri-mechanization training so that we can make sure that we have competent and enough technicians to handle the equipment. We have also, through the support of Case IH, in the year 2022, supported 300 women farmers by providing them with tractor hours so that we make sure that no farmer is left behind and every farmer can enjoy mechanization for their farms. So, next slide. Yeah, so they say numbers don't lie. So far, these are the numbers of where we have been able to, the number of tractors that we have sold so far since 2019, and the location that we have actually sold the tractors to. From Mogadishu, Baidoa, Beletoini, Balad, Kismayo, Afgoi. We offer complete line of 3S services, that is sales, spare parts, and service. So make sure we always provide an environment where our customers are served and are well taken care of. Next slide. So looking into the future, we want to create a world where each and every farmer, whether you can afford a tractor or not afford a tractor, you are in a position to enjoy mechanization. And we are planning to roll out a program where a farmer can easily call us, and we have equipment which are up and running, and we can go to their location and do agri-mechanization on their farms. So next. So this is a short video to wrap up on some of the things that we have been doing. Yeah, thank you for listening to us.
Thank you.
So this is during the inauguration and kickoff meetings before we brought in the Case IH. And this is when the tractors first arrived. Galoge was the first company in Somalia, I believe so, I stand to be corrected, to bring in new tractors, 0 mileage, out of the showroom, that is out of the production lines. So these are some of the training students. We take them through theoretical training, 20%, about 60% of practical training, in-field training, using qualified technicians and local mechanics as well, who understand the environments and the equipment. So this is during a field farmers demonstration event where we take our tractors and equipment to the farmers. We give them the opportunity to familiarize themselves with the equipment, operate it, and have a hands-on feeling on how it feels like to sit behind a Case IH tractor. So this was in Ballard within this year.
At Case IH, we are always obsessed with not just selling, but we are very much obsessed with servicing and providing spare parts, because selling a tractor is very an easy thing. It's something that you need. But what you need the most is to keep it running, moving on, doing the job, and never a minute downtime. And this is why we are constantly pushing and forming Galoge to provide an excellent service that, and also an unprecedented service that never was before. So this is our mission, to keep you going, to keep your machinery moving on and being productive for you.
So far in our showroom, we have the smallest tractor, which is 45 horsepower. We have 55 horsepower, 75, 90, 95, and 110. And more depending on customers' preference and the mechanization needs. Yeah, so these are our supportive partners. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Any question?
Question? No, I would like to mention actually to congratulate also Galoge in particular, because Galoge, if by essence, was a startup. It started in 2019, and through the support of the enterprise development units in Baidoa, they then got together as a cooperative of farmers and got established. First of all with the business support, and then following the investment promotion support provided by the Unido TPO in Rome, and continuing then with the line of credit. It was basically a story of entrepreneurship that actually must be highlighted. So
Thanks to you, Igor. This is personally thanks to you. You made us meeting, you believed, you had a vision, you created the platform to be together, and after 5 years, here we are. So this is your real personal commitment to Somalia and the Somali population. Thanks, Igor.
Yeah, this is
a question, gentlemen. The price. He wants to know the price, the gentleman.
Okay, as we said, we have different lines of products. So to get the price, we have to be specific on the model. So we will invite you to our booth. We will get your contacts, and we will get to, yeah, thank you very much.
Sure. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. So the next speaker is Ahmed Yassin from Kalaf Group. If we have Ahmed. We don't have, then we go maybe to the next present. Ahmed? It's coming, okay.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh. My name is Ahmed Abdi Yassin. I represent Alaf Group. Alaf is the first company producer animal feed, especially the fodder. We provide Super Nevia. Super Nevia is one of the best variety in the animal fodder. So, before we start the Alaf Group or the Super Nevia, I need to give you a small overview, livestock and importance and economic of Somalia. As we know, Somalia has a large livestock population, including estimated 7.2 million camels, 5.3 million cattle, 30.2 million cows, and 13.2 million sheep. So we have a lot of the animal. So next. So when we are talking about the livestock is the backbone of the Somali economy. They're contributing around 80% of the agriculture across domestic GDP and also 45 national GDP. The livestock is a key and traditional practice with significant social, economic, and political outcomes in Somalia. Next. Also, our rangeland and natural pasture are the main source of the feed during the optimal season, but due to the increasing frequency of the drought, feed production have dramatically declining over time. This basis suffered through the liveholders and pastoralists in Somalia. Next. So that they have a lot of the challenges facing the livestock, the recurrent droughts and the declining availability of the natural pasture. Somalia faces the challenges maintaining productivity of the livestock sector. Livestock herders are forced to import feed from the abroad to meet the local demand and further complicating the sector of the development. This is the gap we need to solve as Alaf Group because we are a lot of the feed from the Oman and the EU, so we need to solve this for the local product as the fodder. Next. The large livestock population in sector has not reached the full potential due to the limited access quality year-round livestock because there are climate changes that causes a lot of the threats. So factors such as climate challenges, insufficient breakfast sector, engagement in fodder production, and the lack of processing marketing infrastructure have contributed the low feed quality. Next. So, as Alaf Group, we are supplying to address this supply and demand issue, the fodder, irrigation based for production, crucial livestock feed demand, mitigating through effective, ensuring stable feed sources, thereby enhancing market resilience. Next. Alaf Group standard was established in 2020 to produce the fodder for livestock in Somalia. The main variety that Alaf cultivates is Super Nevia grass. The total area cultivated with Super Nevia grass amounted 200 hectares in Somalia. But now we increased another 50 hectares. So, next. So, significantly contribute to this fodder supply, supported to development in local dairy farms. Moreover, fodder provides crucial feed source in livestock, practical during droughts when the natural pasture are unavailable. It helps to ensure livestock receive adequate nutrition, stay and health, and productive supporting household needs. So, next. So, Alaf Group Industry, collaboration with the IRIS program, provided 500,000 Super Nevia cutting material, specializing in the area of the southwest, especially Afgoy and Baydaba districts. practical training and planting procedure, and also giving this collaboration aims to enhance resiliency and livestock market system and support the sector's growth and addressing supply demand challenges and feed production market. Because our people, our livestock handlers, they don't know how to make business to the fodder. So we use this Super Nebia cutting, so Nagasti. So why we selected Super Nebia? When we are talking Super Nebia, there are a lot of benefit. The first one is the high yield productivity. 1 hectare of the Super Nebia, you can harvest in one time more than 30 tons for the silage. And also he has a nutritional value for minimum from 16 to 18 good breeding, and also is improved livestock performance, and also is a cost effective. We can supply our dairy farmers 1 ton for the silage less than $100. So no one can do it. And also it's stability. You don't need more water when you are planting to the Super Nebia. So I don't need your pesticide, something like that. And we can harvest in each year more than 3 and 5 times, or sometimes you can harvest in 6 times. Next. So what about the challenges faced to the fodder production? There are several challenges, including limited access for the production inputs such as quality seeds, irrigation facilities, well as processing storage technology, and also high cost storage infrastructure during the period, and the low demand fluctuating market demand also hinder the sector's growth. So next.